Okay.
Welcome. Yay. So excited. We're so excited to be here. We're so excited that so many of you are here with us live for our gut health and digestive wellness webinar today.
Yes, thank you all so much for taking a little time to come hang with us. Um, First, before we get started, is anyone here? I assume that most of you here are experiencing some form of gut health concern. Does anyone have anything specific they want to share? Maybe pop it in the chat, because I know Jasmine and I will share our story. So it would be good to kind of know what we're dealing with all of you, if you're comfortable.
And while you guys are typing that out or thinking about it, I'll just introduce myself if you don't know me. Welcome. My name's Jasmine. I'm so happy that you're here. I am an essential oils educator. I spent years working as a medical assistant in Western medicine, and so I have a lot of firsthand experience with Western medicine, and have over the last 2 years really developed a knowledge and a research based and a personal relationship with essential oils. And I grew up in a house that my mom also works in medicine. She still does. And it was like, you have a stomach ache, take Pepto-Bismol. You've heartburn, take what are those chewy chalky things called?
Oh, like an antacid or a Tums?
Yeah, like Tums. Yeah. Kim, maybe headphones. I don't know. That might be an option if they're around. And so I just never knew that that you could have a natural option around. So when I started to learn that, I was mind blown. And then I'm a biology student and a health science student at heart. So I researched the crap out of everything. So that's how I got to this place. And I also struggle with my own gut health issues, which we'll talk about, and how I use the oils in my own life and what I do daily, the 4 things that I do every day to just kind of keep my gut healthy.
Okay, I am so sorry. I'm distracted by this microphone thing. Can everybody hear me okay? Do I have to kind of yell?
A little bit.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know how to fix it. So I'm just gonna go with it. And if you need me to repeat something, just say it in the chat. Maybe I can type it for you.
I think if you talk loud, you're good on my end.
Okay. I can hear you because I have speaker plastic for my laptop. Perfect. Okay, so a little bit about my background. I actually was introduced to doTERRA a year and a half ago because of gut health issues. I was suffering with chronic heartburn and stomach pain, like the most severe I've ever experienced in my life. The doctor basically was like, oh, here, take your 24-hour Pepcid and call it a day. And I was just not satisfied with that answer. And so a friend of mine introduced me to doTERRA, specifically to DigestZen, that I always have by my side at every minute of every day. And it was really like one drop of it, and 30 seconds later, like, I hate to use the word magic because I feel like it actually minimizes the how great they are, but it was like pure magic. My heartburn for the first time in over a year just completely was gone. And I didn't have to use a crazy over the counter drug. So from that moment on, I was hooked. And kind of fast forwarding from there, I've recently found out through working with a functional medicine doctor who's also working with me with the oils, that I have something that's called SIBO. Not sure if anyone in here is familiar with it or has it as well. I know my mom is waving. We're both actually dealing with it at the same time, which is quite the coincidence because it's not really a genetic thing. So it's been actually really amazing to have her as kind of like my support buddy through all of this. And yes, she loves her DigestZen too. So I'll get into what SIBO is a little bit more later as it pertains to a few of the oils that have been really helpful for me. But if anyone has ever experienced anything like candida or just a gut bacteria overgrowth in general, you might be familiar with the symptoms. So that's just a little bit about my very small bit about my gut health story.
And it's funny because a lot of people come into relationship with essential oils through DigestZen. So it's one that we're both going to talk about because we both love it. And let's just jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
They've been waiting long enough.
I know. So I have my own gut issues. I have gluten sensitivity, not intolerant as far as I know, but definitely sensitive. And so there's so many factors of gut health. They call the gut the second brain because there's actually more neurotransmitters and more nerves in our gut than there is in our actual brain. So our GI system, which goes from our mouth to our anus, fun words, is one continuous tract, and everything that happens in between from there to there is part of our digestive system. So the breakdown of food, like chewing, our teeth, the digestion of food, our stomach, our liver that creates bile to help the stomach break down all the stuff, and then the absorption of nutrients that happens in the small intestine, large intestine. So all of that is part of the digestive tract. So there's so many things happening when we are taking into consideration the factors of our GI or gastrointestinal health. So reducing stress, healthy lifestyle, what you're eating, food choices. So one of the things is just food choices. Just notice, maybe taking a food diary, or notice what you eat and how it makes you feel. So before I realized that I was gluten intolerant, I always felt uncomfortable. I always felt a little bloated. I always felt just uncomfortable. And I just didn't know that there was another way to feel. I think you get used to something that's abnormal and it becomes your normal. And then when you start to experience something different, then you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. That actually wasn't my normal. So Kim, you could probably attest to that too. Yeah. So DigestZen. Okay. So the way that I use it, and I use it a couple of different ways, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's a blend oil, and it's a blend of, I have to remember them, ginger, rhizome, is that how you say that? Peppermint, caraway seed, coriander, anise, tarragon, and fennel. Now, if you're like me, you're like, gross. Like, what are all? I don't like anise and I don't like fennel. And that was my first reaction with DigestZen. I was like, this is gross. Like, I don't like it. And I would put 1 drop in like 4 ounces of water and then just plug my nose and chug it, because that's how much I didn't love the taste of all those flavors. But I quickly realized that within just a few minutes, the uncomfortableness was starting to feel better. And so now I'm to the point where I'll just drop it straight in my mouth, under my tongue, because I know how quick the relief is and I don't mind the taste anymore at all. My husband also suffered from indigestion, so his doctor prescribed him Pepcid, and he was not feeling like he wanted to take that every day for the rest of his life at 30 something. So he started using DigestZen, and he uses it every day too. Whenever he has like indigestion, in water. You can also use it topically and just put a couple drops in your hand and massage it into your belly. You can add something like a fractionated coconut oil or olive oil or anything like that. Kim?
Yeah, I pretty much only use it internally because I have such severe digestive pains, heartburns, like what have you. And I was the same way. I always hated the taste of like black licorice or kind of like anything in that family. Super grossed out by it, in fact. But that's the thing, is that black licorice that most of us are used to is like the gross candy kind of fake whatever they put in it to flavor it. It's not what's actually in Digestin. And also just the pretty much instantaneous relief that I felt from it was enough. I was like, I literally don't care what this tastes like. I'm using it.
Yeah.
Personally, I always make tea with it. Unless, I carry it in my purse. If I'm out at a restaurant, I'll kind of like tip the bottle over. You might've seen me do it before the meeting started. I tip the bottle over, have a drop or so on my finger, and then right behind my bottom teeth in my gums. I will also directly drop it into my mouth, but I want to offer a little caution there, that sometimes the oils come out of the bottle quickly, and my mom is laughing because I witnessed her dump like a very substantial amount of Digestin in her mouth once, and it wasn't pretty after. So it will clear out your system. Sorry, Mom, I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Corinne, totally. They pack a punch. They're strong and powerful. So the other way is to have a dropper and just, literally drop one drop in, or capsules, which we'll get into. So if you're a brand new oil user, the easiest way is topically on the belly, massage it in clockwise, and it's going to get into the system. So here's a little science geek out for you. How do the essential oils work, right? Like, what's the big deal? They smell great. They're just, a lot of people think like, oh, they're just nice smelly things. So we have a cell. The cell has a membrane, and nothing can get through that membrane. It's a semi-permeable membrane if you go back to like biology class, right? So the thing that's beautiful about these oils is because the molecular weight is so low, and because they're an oil and this membrane is phospholipid loving, they can penetrate the cell wall and go into the cell. What does that mean? So if you have a virus, the virus lives inside of the cell. So if you go to the doctor will say, it's a virus, go home, drink some water, rest. There's nothing I can do. Let it have its way with you. In a couple of days, you should feel better. Well, because the oil can pass through that membrane, it can get into the membrane and go directly to the virus and get rid of it. How does it know how to do that? So they're plants. They're plants. They're the essence of the plants. We take the plant's immune system, and we are ingesting the plant's immune system directly into our system. So plants don't have homes and fireplaces and antibiotics, right? All the plants have is their essence, essentially their essential, the oil, that smell, to attract what they want and to fend away from bacteria and fungus so that plants get sick too, right? But the only thing that they have, their first line of defense, is their oil, that smell, the aroma that they emit. That is what protects them from harmful bacteria and fungus and viruses and so forth. So when we take the plant essence, we're taking the immune system of the plant, and it's going directly to our cells and can get through the cell membrane to deal with anything that's inside of the cell. Now, when we have a bacterial infection, the bacteria lives on the outside of the cell. And so if you go to a doctor, the doctor will give you an antibiotic, and the antibiotic will wipe out everything. And they'll say, well, you might have a stomach ache, and you might have diarrhea, and don't drink dairy, and you might feel like death for 3 days, because it's wiping everything out. It doesn't know good or bad bacteria, it just kills everything. And we have so much good bacteria that we need. So when you're using an essential oil, the essential oil will find the bad bacteria because it knows what's bad in nature, and it will get rid of it. So that's kind of the science behind why the essential oils work, and why they work so quickly is even just by inhaling it. And we'll talk a little bit about that in another oil, even this oil. Just a deep inhalation. In 20 seconds, the oil has gone into your nose, into your olfactory nerve, and that olfactory nerve connects to the limbic system. The limbic system is the back part of the brain that controls emotions, memories, heart rate, blood pressure, the digestive system, all of those rest and relax spaces. So just by smelling an oil, in 20 seconds, it's in the bloodstream. In 2 minutes, it can be found in the cells. And in 22 minutes, and it can be found in every single cell of the body. So that's how, when you're using something and in half an hour, you're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Because the oil goes where it needs to go and it can get into every cell of your body. Any questions on DigestZen while we're on it? Okay. Kim, do you have anything else you want to say on DigestZen?
No, I don't know how I can follow that up.
So the other thing is just kind of carrying them with you. Like my husband and I have, these are like little, doTERRA has these little keychain packs, and we kind of have our favorite oils that we carry with us. So this is like, you just make it yourself from your bottle. It's a little sample. I'll carry it around. I'll do what Kim does. I'll drop a drop under my tongue. I'll put some on my wrists and my pulse points if I, for some reason, can't take it internally. But like I said, at this point, like it's been 2 years, I'm just huffing and everything oil.
Actually, one thing I will add. So the experience that I had was I was instantly like, yeah, cool. I'll take it internally. I trust this. That's fine. But what I'm finding is that that's not everybody's initial reaction. I know some people who it took them a year of using the oils before they were actually ready to try them internally. And so if you do use the oils, but you don't use them internally yet, that would be a really great opportunity to kind of like hop on a one-on-one with either Jasmine or myself so that we can educate you more on internal use, because I get how that could feel strange or scary. Like, why is something that, I can, for example, frankincense, why is something that I can put on my skin to like, be anti-aging also something I can take internally? That can be confusing. So
it can be intimidating. Yeah. And Kim and I offer, well, each of us offer free consultations where we can do a chat like this one-on-one and be like, let's talk about your exact thing. So this is kind of a broad spectrum. Kiddos, if you have kids, doTERRA makes a roller of DigestZen. So it's pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and you can roll it right onto their bellies. You can roll it onto the bottoms of their feet. The bottoms of the feet have less fat and don't really have any, like a lot of function. So the oils are absorbed really easily and they get into the bloodstream a little bit quicker. So you'll often hear a lot of us talking about rubbing oils on the bottom of your feet just because it's absorbed quicker. You don't have to use it internally, but you are going to experience, in my opinion, a faster relief. And if you're like Kim and I, where you're experiencing chronic, that's my cat, chronic gut health issues, and using it internally is something you might want to consider, and we can help you with that too. So, okay. Love DigestZen. It is like the one oil that everybody that I know is obsessed with. It's the one oil that, what's the word I want to use?
It's the least intimidating, I think.
It's the least intimidating, and it's the word that like converted my husband, because he used to use Tums all the time. Like we would buy Tums all the time. They're so gross and chalky and they taste gross. And he's like, ew, I got the green one. It's disgusting. This is like, back in the day, I didn't know. Like I was like, I have a stomach ache, take Pepto-Bismol. Oh, that doesn't make it help. Take Maalox. Oh, that didn't feel better. And it's not only like indigestion. We're talking like diarrhea, constipation, bloating, overeating, Thanksgiving, like, massage it on the belly, take it internally. It's gonna blow your mind. It really is.
And I think we'll probably end up spending the most time on this oil because it's like, if you're going to have just one oil in your arsenal for your gut health, support, just get DigestZen.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
And because it's a blend of a lot of the other oils we're going to talk about, like it's already done for you. You don't have to think about it. It's easy. And it's effective. Like that is the bottom line. It's effective. They all are, but this is the easiest one to just have and use, start to get to know. Okay.
So do you have any questions on it before we move on to the next oil? Anything in particular? Oh, I see a hand being raised.
Yeah, Allie.
I'll unmute. Hi, Allie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never done this before, but Can the digestion help with leaky gut?
Yes.
Help heal the.
Yes. So when we talked so when we talked about Corinne, we you unmute Corinne. So we talked about bad bacteria and good bacteria. All of these essential oils will help give that balance back to good bacteria and bad bacteria and help heal the lining of, I can't say heal, help repair the lining of the gut.
Yeah, I have leaky gut too. I have Lyme disease. I just found out I have mast cell activation syndrome. I have 2 parasites, leaky gut, candida everywhere. So, and Kim is the reason that I ordered Digesten when I started with the oils. And I know for me personally, it definitely took a while for them to work. You know, diffusing them, even just the sense memory certainly helps. But there was a while where I was like trying them and they weren't working. And then one night my neck was killing me and I finally just put some lavender on and I was like, oh, I get it. So I have the peppermint roll on for I just had massive dental surgery. So my skull is a hot mess. So I use the peppermint for headaches. And the Digesten, I started after Kim suggested it, dropping it. So I just drop it in a shot glass. I think, as you know, sometimes it's more than you want, but I think I'm up to like 5 drops twice a day. I can't say that it was like overnight, but I also have so many things wrong with me. So, but I can definitely see, and like I was that person. I'm sure Kim remembers. There are pictures of me like chugging Pepto. It was just an embarrassing ongoing joke. I was diagnosed with celiac, which by the way, I'm not. I'll update you, Kim. I know. But yeah, it's definitely been helping. And I hate fennel as well, and I can't taste it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you talked about a great point, Corinne. Thank you for bringing that up. Diffusing, just having it in the diffuser so that it's aromatically getting into the air. Here's a diffuser. Yeah, so it's just diffusing. It's just water and oil, the oil that of your choice. So you could put Digesten in there, and that's another way that it can get into your system without having to take it internally. And another thing that you brought up is just memory. So like in the beginning, when you're first using the oil, all of your memories, if you're not a fan of black licorice types of fennel, anise, like you're going to be like, oh, this is disgusting. But once your body starts to make a new memory of this makes me feel better, you no longer have that aversion to the oil because now you're like, I know this is going to help. And the body doesn't have that same reaction. It's really interesting. That's neuroplasticity of the brain making new brainwaves. And that's a whole nother discussion, but yeah, Donna says that happened to me with vetiver for sleep. Same. The first time I smelled vetiver, I was like, well, I don't know. I don't like it. And I started trying to use it and I use it for sleep as well. And now I'm like obsessed. Use it all the time. And I love it. Yeah. It's interesting. Our bodies are smart and their plants are innate and they know, they go where they're needed and they'll, be utilized where they need to be in the body. Okay. Moving on. Oh yeah. And Allie.
Hang on. I'm coming. Okay.
Okay. Hi. Both my daughter and I got one of those food intolerant tests done. And sometimes I'm wondering how accurate it is, but we both, it showed sensitivity to gluten, dairy, all citrus, like almonds, a few other things for me. And she's 15 and she refuses not to eat gluten and dairy. She just won't do it. And she gets extreme stomach aches. So she just can't cut the stuff out of her diet.
Yeah.
Even though we've been to the the naturopath and everything. And so I was hoping I could do these. Do you think it works even if you're eating the things that cause irritation? Like if she keeps continuing to eat those things, if I use digestion on her, do you think it's helpful?
Yes.
I actually can't eat gluten either, and I shouldn't be eating dairy, and I eat dairy because I love it.
Yeah, she loves dairy.
I limit it, but I do eat it. But last night I actually had some ricotta gnocchi, maybe like a couple of bites of someone else's, but I immediately got a stomach ache and I had my Digest-N with me because I knew I was going to eat some of that person's gnocchi. And
Mhm.
I'm not going to say like, oh my God, miracle, like my gluten intolerance is gone for the moment, but it allowed me to continue on through the rest of the night without feeling uncomfortable or,
Mhm.
oh, I have to go home and use the bathroom or whatever. So, you know, I totally get that getting a teenager to not eat gluten and dairy is probably going to be like an uphill battle. So I
Yeah.
think if there's anything that can at least help you and help her feel a little bit better while she's still eating those things, I would highly suggest just from personal experience.
Yeah, Corinne, we'll get to you in 1 second, babe. I see you. Thank you for continuing to remind us. I would agree with Kim. I have the same, I probably took a very similar test to you where I have an intolerance to almonds. And I was drinking almond milk every day, and I, intolerance to peas and dairy. And I have cut it most out of my life almost all the time. But every once in a while, I have that moment where I'm like, I just want pizza and I'm going to have gluten and cheese and I will pay for it. But I have the power in my hands to feel better. So I think that would be the thing for your daughter is that she chooses to eat it. That's okay if she wants to make that choice. I would give her a roller. They also make a Digest-N tablet that she can use orally, that if she knows she's going to eat something that's going to make her stomach upset, or if she's having painful stomach aches, and that's something that she can use. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, but I just posted yesterday, and I'm happy to I can show you either now or at the end of the video. I ate something that I knew I should have eaten, and I'll just show you since I'm talking about it now. My stomach was distended. It looks like I'm pregnant. My stomach was distended 4.5 inches. This was just a couple days ago. I don't know how to, here. So, and this is like my normal stomach. It was a very hard picture to find because I don't take pictures of my stomach. But it was a picture of my face and my stomach happened to be in it. But this was me a couple days ago, and it's that real and it's that painful, and I couldn't get jeans on. And but I'll tell you what, that used to happen for days. I would be like that for days on end. And now that I have the oils, within 30 minutes, I was feeling from a 10 in pain to a 6.5. Within 3 hours, I was probably down to a 4, and the next morning, I was probably down to a 1, which is immensely insane to me compared to how I could be like that and in extreme pain for days on end. So yeah, I definitely think your daughter could benefit and from that. And Corinne.
All right. I'm coming. Okay. Hey. Oh, wait. Okay, you're good.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say that for Allie or Alice, sorry if I'm not saying your name right. I have had probably every food allergy test under the sun. I can tell you which ones are worth the money and why some of them work and some of them don't. If you want, either now or, we can figure out people's emails. Also, it's at Whole Foods. I haven't used it in a while, but I believe it's all herbs. So it's not the oils, but there is a brand called Gluten Ease. I'll write it down in the message. And that is definitely something that I know for a while, if I knew I was going to cheat or eat something I shouldn't, if you take those beforehand or if you end up eating something without meaning to, I can't express to you how much it helps. So if, like you said, with your daughter, that might be something, it will protect her gut a little bit better. And the symptoms will be a lot less gross and painful, I guess, if you could put it. So I just wanted to put that in for some help, because I know with me, with all the things that are wrong with me, food is probably one of the hardest things to navigate and eat properly. So yeah. I totally get it.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, babe, what's next?
Fennel.
Yay.
That's you.
Come on, yay. Okay, so you'll find that fennel is in Digest-N, and so that's why we kind of spent a lot of time on that one. So fennel, I use fennel because what happens when I do things that I'm not supposed to do in my diet is then I become constipated and backed up. And then I have a hard time having regular bowels. So I use fennel when I'm bloated and constipated, and I use it in a capsule, which we'll go over. And I also created sort of my own. This is just you can buy a roller on Amazon, and I put like, I don't know, 15 drops of fennel, maybe a few drops of peppermint and a few drops of oregano. And I use that and I just roll it right onto my belly when I'm feeling extra bloated. And I carry this in my purse all the time. So, or if I'm having constipation, and it will help regulate me. So that's what I use fennel for when I'm constipated and I haven't had a bowel in a couple days.
One other thing I'd like to actually just quickly add about fennel is that it's actually an appetite enhancer. So now don't look at that as like, oh no, I don't want to be eating more, but it can also be used for somebody who maybe has lost their appetite because of whatever their gut health issues that they're dealing with, food allergies, candida, things of that nature. It just kind of helps your metabolism rev up a little bit and your body actually be hungry, which sometimes for me, not feeling hungry at all is a symptom of my SIBO.
Yeah, fennel's also great for metabolism. So when we talk about, metabolizing foods, fennel's great for that, and liver function. And we go back to the digestive system. The liver helps the stomach break down everything, so that supporting the liver is part of supporting the digestive system. So you can do it in a water or a tea. You can do it in a capsule, or you can, again, diffuse it.
You can also add it to food if you're cooking as well at the end. If you're not really into drinking fennel flavored water.
If that's not your jam.
Tea.
Love it. All right.
We've got peppermint next.
Is that mine too? Oh, you want to do clove?
Yeah, I can go on to clove. Okay, so clove, this guy right here, is actually antimicrobial. So again, I keep bringing up candida, SIBO, and you're probably like, what is SIBO? SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So basically, we all know that we have bacteria living in our gut, good and bad, but there's a place for it. So it's supposed to be living in your large intestine and your colon, but when that good bacteria migrates up into your small intestine, it causes what's called SIBO, and it, because where it is in your digestive tract, it's where your food is only starting to break down. So that's just feeding that bacteria, allowing it to grow if you're not properly digesting your food, and if you're eating foods that are difficult to digest. So for me, part of my SIBO treatment actually was using oregano, which I'll get into later. But I kind of self-prescribed the antimicrobial clove for myself in addition to using the oregano, because it's actually been studied. And I don't have the exact study cited. I can find it if anyone is interested. But it actually has been studied, and it's so effective in countering the effects of the candida overgrowth that it's actually being looked at to be used in over-the-counter remedies, which is really exciting. It's also an antioxidant. So if anyone's familiar with the ORAC scale, I'm sure you're not. It's the oxygen radical absorbent capacity scale. This is basically used to measure foods and plants, essential oils, to measure their level of antioxidants. So, for example, you probably eat blueberries because you've heard they're high in antioxidants. They're at a 2.4 thousand on that ORAC scale. Clove is at a 1.1 million. So if you want like crazy antioxidant power punch, like just get yourself some clove oil.
I think clove is like one of the highest, is it not?
Clove is the highest.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
And yes, clove is also good for oral health as well. Clove is great for a lot of things. I was trying to keep this like gut health streamlined because we can go like I use it in my muffins just because it's delicious. Like you just use it for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, clearly, like again, the oils have multiple compounds and they can be used by the different variants body systems in different ways. So which is why we both love doing one-on-one so much, because then we can get into like your personal situation and help in that way.
And I want to offer a bit of caution. I know the 4 of the oils that I'm going to personally speak to are 4 of the oils that I use like directly for my SIBO. However, they're very, very potent and very strong and very warm. So when using them, I almost always dilute. I'm not very sensitive myself in terms of like my skin. But if I'm going to add them to one of these veggie caps, doTERRA has, it's like $4 for this huge bottle. I think there's 160 empty veggie capsules in here that you can just drop your oils into. So if I'm going to use, let's say like clove and oregano in a little capsule together, I'll also put some frankincense in with it to mellow it out a little bit and balance it, because sometimes these really kind of rich, warm oils, as soon as that veggie cap breaks down, you can actually like feel the oil and it's not very comfortable.
Yeah.
Because usually when you're adding it to your capsule, you're adding a few more drops than you maybe would if you were just putting it in a tea or something of that nature.
Would you pull out a capsule so they can just see what it looks like? Because mine are on my counter. What I also do with the capsules is I will put like 1 or 2 drops of whatever I'm using, and then it just pulls apart. Yeah. And then you just drop it in there. It's super easy. And then I'll fill the rest of the capsule with just like regular cooking olive oil. So Donna, is there any oils you should not mix that you know of? You cannot ingest all oils. Like there's some oils that you cannot ingest, and it will say that on the bottle. And I just want to caveat here, because a lot of people will say like, oh, well, what's the difference between doTERRA and another company? And can I just go to Walmart and buy something off the counter? No, I would not suggest that. The reason that Kim and I will speak for Kim because I'll let her speak after, but because I know her, I know we both have the same integrity on purity, potency, and transparency. So doTERRA tests their oils to the utmost highest standards. They go through 3 third-party testings with 3 different companies that are not employed by doTERRA or related to doTERRA. Every single bottle has a QR code scanner and a code on the bottom that you can go and type in and look up the exact testing results of your oil that you have in your hand. No other company on the planet is that transparent. Nobody really releases those testing results like doTERRA does. They only work with farmers and sustainable. They're more than organic, and they're grown where they're indigenously found. So that they're grown for therapeutic use. doTERRA is founded by physicians, and the physicians created them so that they're therapeutic, like medication. So that's the reason that I don't suggest going out into any other store and buying them, is because I don't know what's in them, and I don't suggest that. Also, you might find oils that say like triple distilled, because on the first distillation maybe they found pesticides in it, but they're not telling you that. They're just saying it's triple distilled. They might be adulterated or changed. Corinne, I think Kim is answering your question as I'm talking, but the only difference that I know from Young Living, and Kim, you can speak to this if you have more information, is that of the growing process is that doTERRA, this is one of the main differences that I am aware of. doTERRA grows oil, goes to the farmers where they grow indigenously, and they empower the farmers in teaching them how to source sustainably, grow organically, and they don't go out and buy crops or buy farms. They don't own any of the farms that they have. And that is really, really magical to me and special. Like when you're working with something like frankincense and they're working with people in Somalia, these people are very third world country. There's, I think 40 of our oils come from third world country. And yeah, I believe Young Living owns their own farms, and, you know, they may grow like, you know, lemon in Ohio when lemon thrives best in Italy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's, yeah. So, I mean, when we're talking about internal use, we're only talking about doTERRA oils.
Please don't go to Walmart and buy an oil and ingest it.
Please don't do that. All right. Peppermint. Okay, so peppermint I use often for nausea. So another hot oil. So you can tell right away. I don't think I call it pep on accident because it will put a pep in your step. It's one that you're going to want to probably dilute. I don't have sensitive skin, so I don't typically dilute things. But for the first time using it, I would definitely dilute it and test it out and see how it, yeah, careful with your eye. I've done it too, Corinne. So I use it. My husband thinks he's Mario Andretti. If you don't know who Mario Andretti is, he's a race car driver. And so when we're on trips, specifically like on Highway 1 in California, where they're like windy one-way roads, I'm always have my peppermint next to me because it cuts through nausea like nothing else that I've ever experienced. Now, if you've ever had nausea, you know that like once you're nauseous, you're nauseous. Like even sometimes talking about it makes me nauseous. So peppermint, just a couple inhalations of it, drop in the hand, cupping the palms over the nose after putting a drop, rubbing the hands together. It's also great for breathing and all that good stuff. But it's great for your digestive health because, again, it helps with those bacteria and fungus and helps alleviate those occasional upset stomachs. So you can use it again in a tea, in a capsule, or topically on the body. But one of my favorite ways is just inhaling it because it works so quickly and easily. I'll also, like if I'm in the place that I was the other day with like really, really, really bad bloating and painful stomach aches, I will combine a couple of the oils in a capsule and take it that way. And peppermint's always one of those that I combined with. It's also a great one to diffuse.
Yes, love diffusing that one. Okay, next, I'm going to talk about oregano. And this is another one that's, for me, kind of SIBO specific, but it's also another antimicrobial and antibacterial that's effective in, I have to use compliant language, that's effective in supporting candida overgrowth, and is often used, like my doctor and I and my mom, because we go to the same doctor, he's been treating us with oregano. It's also a really powerful antioxidant as well. It's not quite as powerful as clove. It's only a little over a 15,000 on that ORAC scale, but still higher than blueberries, pomegranates, pretty much still higher than any foods that we can actually eat. It also is really great for supporting like bloating, pain, if you have diarrhea. It's really good if you have parasites. Corinne, I don't know if you're using oregano for a little bit. And actually there was a study, and again, I can find it and share it. There was a study done where for 6 weeks, patients with parasites were treated with oregano, and 77% of those patients rid themselves of their parasites. So I thought that was really cool. It's also often used to heal leaky gut, and it's anti-inflammatory too. So having something that's anti-inflammatory in your essential oil routine for gut health is pretty crucial, especially if you do have more severe gut health issues or food allergies, things of that nature. You're going to want to really support that inflammation, because that's really what leaky gut is just inflammation of your gut and lesions. Sorry.
Yeah, so inflammation is the one caveat that can exacerbate everything. And it's something that we tend to have without knowing it because it's happening internal at the cellular level. So one of the things that has changed my gut health and digestion overall is supplementation. And so that's just one of the factors of having a healthy gastrointestinal tract is appropriate supplementation, including these essential oils. They all contribute to the health of your GI system. So the foundation of proper health and function of the gut is based on essential nutrients. And so if you follow me, you may have heard me talk about this before. When I say essential nutrients, what I mean, why I say that they're essential is because they cannot be made inside of the body. They're only ingested by what you put into your mouth. So it's essential what's in your diet goes into your digestive system and is used to support you at a cellular level. So they're not made in the body. They come from our diet. They come from directly what we put in our mouth and what we eat. So, and those essential nutrients are essential, I can't think of another word, for the gut to function optimally. We have to have them. So like when you eat an apple, you're not just eating an apple. You're eating the apple, you're getting coenzymes and cofactors and catalysts and all these things that come with the apple to help your body digest the apple and to bring you the nutrients that come along with the apple. So what happens a lot with other, with supplements over the counter is that they can be in a way that the body does not recognize them. And so instead of taking the nutrients and applying them to the body, what the body has to do is send them to the liver, send them to the kidneys, find out if they're toxic, and then after all that, a lot of the nutrient is lost because it's presented in a way the body doesn't know that that's what it is, a supplement. So one of the things that has completely overhauled my digestion while being, attentive to what I'm eating, my stress levels, my lifestyle choices is supplementation. So this is doTERRA's, it's called Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's 3 supplements that come together in a pack. You can get them singly, but I definitely suggest the entire pack. And this is daily support versus targeted as needed basis. So what we've been talking about previously have been like as needed, target the issue right there and then, which is great. But if you're wanting long-term health and long-term wellness, then daily support is where your focus should also be, and that foundation of proper health for those essential nutrients, right? So the first one is the Mitoplex vitamins. I'm not going to go in depth because I could literally talk an hour on this, but if you're wanting to know more, I am more than happy. This is like my jam. So the vitamin is a balance of vitamins and minerals to address nutrient deficiencies and support a healthy metabolism. That's my neighbor's dog.
I was like, who's not muted? I didn't.
The animals.
Doesn't have a dog.
So there's 12 servings of fruits and vegetables in these vitamins and minerals. They also make a children's version. Let me shut the door. I think the mailman's here. So they also make a children's version of these. So if you feel like you're not getting enough nutrients and vitamins in your diet, which most of us are not, even if we're super aware, this is a great way to help supplement your essential nutrients so that your cells at the cellular level are functioning at their most optimal level, which is going to help your digestion. The second one is the omega complex. It's the XEO omega. So this also has essential oils in it, some of the ones that we've talked about. It's a blend of omega fatty acids and essential oils to support many of the crucial functions of digestion and inflammation and immunity. So again, I could talk forever on this, but basically we get way too many omega-3s and not enough omega-6s, and the body wants balance. And when we're out of balance in one or the other, inflammation is the response. And so what happens, inflammation is the response, and that inflammation wreaks havoc on the digestive system and gut health. So if we can bring that inflammation down with balance and supplements, then everything starts to sort of balance out on its own. These have changed so much for me. There's one more that I want to go over before I tell you the differences that I felt. The last one is the Alpha CRS, which is a blend of botanical extracts and essential oils to support healthy cellular function and cellular energy. So when I say cells, I mean at the cellular level. They help the mitochondria produce ATP, which is energy. So they're helping at the very, very fundamental level of energy production in your body. They're helping get rid of antioxidants. I mean, they're helping get rid of oxidative stress by bringing in antioxidants in the form of essential oils. These have changed the game for me. doTERRA offers a 30-day money-back guarantee on these supplements because they believe in them so much. Antioxidant support is amazing. The DNA protection for your cellular health, for energy and metabolism, immunity. What's changed for me is sleep. I sleep so much better. I wake up with a sense of vitality versus a sense of wanting to go back to sleep and fatigue. My hair and nails are like crazy. I used to be a nail biter, and I used to bite my nails because they were so paper thin and they would crack and they would break and they would split and all this crazy stuff. My hair grows super fast, which is like good and bad because then I just don't maintain it as much. But it's great for fatigue, brain fog, eye, liver function, nervous system, like everything is going to be, this is helping you at the cellular level. If you're not taking a supplement, please consider taking one. Talk to us about it. And if you are taking one, I would be happy to send you the ingredients so you can compare what's in your supplements versus what's in these supplements. Because I've done so many classes with these supplements, and I have people, I'm like, bring your vitamins and supplements so we can compare them. And they are hands down the highest percentage, daily value, and combination of essential nutrients that I've seen anywhere, ever. Mic drop.
Yes, love LLV.
Yeah, so that appropriate supplementation is going to contribute to your overall GI health, because it's going to bring down that inflammation. The essential oils in it are going to help with the antioxidants. It's daily support for your gut and for so much more.
Okay, I have 2 more oils from the same family that I want to take you guys through. And then when you all signed up for this webinar, we had asked you if there were 3 main health concerns, or what your 3 main health concerns were. And so I want to, we both would like to touch upon the 3 that we saw come up the most. So finishing out the oils, we have ginger, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with. Ginger's ability to really help soothe and support nausea. That's something else that my doctor has personally instructed me to use regularly. Part of my SIBO symptoms have been nausea. So what I will do is I will add it to my veggie cap alone when I'm feeling nauseous, because it is another really spicy oil. So the only way I really recommend using it, internally speaking, is by adding it to tea or water, or by adding it to a veggie cap. You can also apply it topically, but I would dilute that with your fractionated coconut oil or jojoba oil, something, a carrier oil. But it is really helpful in reducing bloating, gas, indigestion, nausea. There have been numerous studies on the effects of ginger on nausea. Another one that's anti-inflammatory. You're seeing a trend here, not a coincidence. Abdominal inflammation, like I said before, is really at the root of most diseases, and it's the cause of leaky gut syndrome. So using ginger can really help support you with that. And then again, obviously ensuring that you have anti-inflammatory foods in your diet, just to kind of help support your overall digestive system. Part of the ginger family, which is an essential oil that is newer to me, is cardamom. It sort of plays off the same benefits. It just adds a little bit of a different flavor, I suppose. It's really effective in healing, in supporting nausea. It's also really helpful in supporting stomach ulcers. So that's not something that I've heard about ginger. So if ulcers are something of concern for you, I would recommend trying like a cardamom tea, or again, using cardamom in your veggie cap. It also is helpful for indigestion, heartburn, things of that nature. All of these oils are pretty much doing the same thing. It's just some of them will do it more intensely than others. Again, going back to SIBO, this is something that not only causes chronic heartburn and stomach aches and indigestion for me, but it's also something that causes brain fog and chronic pain, chronic inflammation, like a myriad of issues that I won't get into now because that's not what this is about. But so sometimes I really do need something that's a lot stronger than Digestin, which is where something like clove or ginger or oregano come in. So if you're, not really identifying with having severe gut health issues and you just kind of get chronic heartburn or maybe chronic food intolerances or things of that nature, or like we talked about before, you just want to eat gluten even though you shouldn't, that's kind of where I feel like Digestin is your number one must-have. And it's, I think, the number one must-have anyway. But then once you start adding on the more severe gut health issues is when you should really introduce some of these other single oils to kind of layer on top of when Digestin just isn't enough. And again, like if I eat something that I really shouldn't eat, a lot of times, and before I even feel the effect of it, I will just fill a veggie cap with frankincense and oregano and clove and just pop it and be like, okay.
Frankincense is also another one that's great for inflammation. Frankincense, we could do a whole segment on frankincense, but we'll just stop there.
So that's all we have for the oils. Does anybody have any questions before we kind of quickly dive into your top 3 health concerns? I know we're hitting that hour mark and we want to respect everyone's time, but we also want to be able to answer your questions. So we're here for as long as you want to be here. Can you take all these oils on a regular basis, or are they a limited time? So you can take them all on a regular basis. Let me back that up. Digestin is peppermint, fennel. Digestin, peppermint, fennel. I would say those are things that you can take every single day. I wouldn't exceed maybe 4 to 5 drops a day. Right. Jasmine, is that kind of what you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how you're taking them. So what I would say is that you want to, take into consideration your esophagus, essentially. So if you're taking them in a capsule, like you can take them every day in that way, or in like water, something that's sort of diluting it. The one that I would say that and doTERRA suggests this also, not to use every single day continuously, is oregano, because it's so powerful and so potent that they say you can use it for 2 weeks straight and then take a 2-week break and then go back. So again, because it can kill parasites. That's how strong it is. So like they're powerful. They pack a punch. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So, you know, 1 drop is going to go a long way. Yeah. Frankincense. Yeah, definitely every day. We're going to talk on that in a minute. So, anything else before we hop into the top 3? So one of the things, if anyone's typing, one of the things that came up that I shared, how many drops per capsule?
So I think that varies on your tolerance, and I'll tell you why. The capsules can hold 12 drops, and I know this because I really love to combine frankincense, clove, oregano, and peppermint. Or sometimes I swap that peppermint out for ginger. I don't recommend doing that if you are brand new to ingesting the oils. So what I would say is to start with 3 to 4 drops of one, maybe 3 to 5 of 2, just, you know, depending on which ones you're mixing.
I might even say start with 2 drops.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could even start with 1 drop. I mean, that's the thing, is like 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to 28 cups, thank you, of peppermint tea. So like they're powerful. So you could literally start with 1 drop of peppermint in a capsule, fill the rest of the capsule with olive oil, and wait half an hour. See if you feel an immense difference, or if you're like, well, it helped a little, the next time try 2 drops. I generally will usually do 2 drops is kind of my place of safe zone. 3 drops of any oil is considered the therapeutic dose. And you can take 3 drops if you're treating, like if I was to prescribe you, if we were to prescribe you DigestZen, for example, you can take 3 drops every 4 hours continuously for some type of chronic ailment. That being said, you know, they pack a punch. They're super powerful. Use caution. Be mindful when you're using these strong oils. Like we definitely, less is more, and daily use is better than not using it for a month and a half and then taking 5 drops. And then in all of the studies that I've read, Corinne, there has not been any adverse side effects in all of the studies that I've read. And it's like if you ate too much peppermint, like if you literally ate peppermint leaves, your body's gonna be like, it's in excess, and you're gonna release it. Like, and there's not, you know, they're plants. So
it's really more about, like, for something like oregano or clove that's just very spicy and warm, can be uncomfortable in your system if you're using it in
excess. Yeah. So the top 3 concerns that came up were anxiety, gut health, and insomnia. The beautiful thing about those 3 things, or sleep in general, are that a lot of those are controlled in the gut. 90% of the serotonin made in the body is made in the gut. Serotonin is one of our feel-good hormones. And 90% of the GABA, and GABA is another feel-good hormone that is made in the gut. And GABA also, it has similar effects to like alcohol and Xanax and THC. So that kind of calming effect that you get from those things is the GABA. It's mimicking that GABA. So when the gut health is out of whack, the serotonin production is lower, the GABA production is lower, creating more stress and havoc on the body, and making rest and restore harder, making sleep harder. So when you can start to overhaul and take control of your gut health, your serotonin increases, your GABA increases, and that helps bring rest and relaxation to the body, and then therefore reduces anxiety, because the serotonin and the GABA is going to counteract the stressful hormones. Does anybody have questions? Or Kim, do you want to elaborate on that?
All I was really going to add was, again, I guess how I'm speaking to it today is mostly from personal experience. So, take from it what resonates and leave the rest. But for me, what I've noticed with anxiety and sleep or stress and my gut health, as I'm working to improve my gut health, I have noticed I do sleep better. I sleep through the night. I know my mom can attest to this as well. She has a little bit more difficulties with sleeping, unfortunately, than I do. But as we're healing our gut, we're able to get the rest that we need. I know my anxiety has gone down. But part of it is supporting yourself with your food and with your essential oils and with your supplements. But part of it really is managing your stress and making sure that you have a solid self-care routine, which for me, and I think for most of you, your essential oils are a big part of that. So not only are they great for your gut health, but they're just a wonderful addition to your self-care routine, whether it's cooking or taking a bath with it. Like, there's so many different ways that you can look at it. But it all, like Jasmine mentioned earlier, we have more neurotransmitters and nerves in our gut than we do in our brain. Like, it's not a coincidence that when you get really nervous, you get butterflies in your stomach. Or if something bad happens, you have like that pit in the bottom of your stomach of worry. They're connected. They are connected by the vagus nerve. So it's a nerve in your body that, help me out, Jasmine, because you're the
you're so on the right track. You got it. And they're all connected, and our gut actually controls a lot more than we give it credit for. It has more neurons, has more nerve endings. It's responsible for a lot of things. But I think at the end of the day, and I believe this is doTERRA's mission, and it's, I know it's to be mine and to be Kim's, is that we really believe in daily oil usage, daily supplementation, daily support. So it's not, we don't, there's not a one-stop shop that this one thing is going to fix everything. It's about daily support and taking the best care of yourself daily. And part of that is your self-care routine. And I think that what can be addressed in daily health is your overall vitality, your energy, your digestion, your mental clarity, your sleep, your peace of mind. All of those things are balanced in your daily routines. And so we are so excited because this webinar, prepping for this webinar, encouraged us to release a daily healthy habits challenge starting in May. doTERRA has just started this program recently, and so we are so excited because they've released a daily habits kit at a deeply discounted rate that contains many of the things that we've talked about today, and also contains the supplements. And so it's really about daily usage and how you're making the best of that daily use. So I just want to show you quickly what that looks like, what we're talking about when we're talking about daily use. Can you guys see this? Okay, so this is the daily use kit. And so it comes with balance. So balance, you're going to use that in your morning. It's grounding, it's centering, it's going to ease those feelings of anxiety, of stress. You can use it all day. You can put it on the bottoms of your feet. It's one that I use almost every single day. Frankincense, so 1 drop of frankincense under the tongue. And we're going to create a Facebook group for all of our customers and all of you who would love to join, so that we can educate you on why you're using frankincense under your tongue every day. because we will be here for 17 hours if we went over all of these things today. The other one that we didn't have a chance to get into, but we will get into with this challenge, is the PB Assist, probiotics, and Terrazymes, which is enzymes to help you break down your foods. Afternoon, you're going to use a citrus oil in your water that's going to help detox your liver and your kidneys. You can choose lemon, tangerine, grapefruit, whatever your favorite is. Then again, that Terrazyme, that's to help break down. It helps bring the enzymes that are missing in processed and cooked foods. Deep Blue Rub, so that's great for muscle soreness, muscle pain, tightness, recovery after workouts. And then oh, sorry, I missed up here. Lifelong Vitality. I'm like, where did I miss my vitamins in the morning? So you take your morning dose and then you take your evening dose of the Lifelong Vitality. Your On Guard, which is your immunity protecting. So you can either diffuse the oil or take a soft gel under your, take a soft gel. Again, this all comes in that kit together. And then bedtime, you can choose lavender or serenity, any bedtime oil. We talked about vetiver a little bit. And there also is a Serenity soft gel that you can ingest that I know a lot of people have come off of, a lot of my clients have come off of prescription sleep aids and using the oils in combination with the soft gels. So this is something that we're really excited about and we're launching together for our customers. And if you're not a doTERRA customer, you can start with this kit. If you are a doTERRA customer and you have some of the oil, like maybe you have lemon and you have frankincense, and you can, get the Lifelong Vitality pack or anything like that. So the kit comes with On Guard, Balance, frankincense, lemon, lavender, Deep Blue, the 3 supplements in the Lifelong Vitality, and DigestZen comes in the kit. So, did I miss anything? That was like a big.
No. Well, actually, no, you didn't. Never mind.
Yeah. So, I think what I want. Yeah. So if you're interested in that challenge, we'll send you an invite to join the Facebook group if you're curious and you want to join us. If you're not a customer and you would like to purchase and order an oil today, we can help you do that here right now, or you can schedule a one-on-one with us either way so that we can kind of go in depth with you more one-on-one. I guess what we can do, Kim, is pop our links in there so that if you want to shop around on doTERRA's website and see, you can get, and whoever sent you to this webinar or whoever introduced you, either Kim or myself, just reach out to that person. And then I guess I'll put my email in there. Does anybody have any questions right now? Or any specific, because like now it's like free time. So if you're happy and you've learned some stuff and you're like good to go, thank you so much for joining us. We want to honor your time. If you have questions or want to schedule a one-on-one, just send us an email. We can schedule it right now, actually, if you want, Erica, too. You could just, do that. Okay, cool. I'll pop the link in here. And if you want to hang out and chat with us or you're ready to order, we're going to be here for a bit hanging out. So if you have questions or missed a part of something that we said, we're here for you. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. We're so grateful.
Thanks, everyone.
Erica, I'm going to pop that link in here for you right now.
And Corinne and I are going to hang out and do a one-on-one after everyone's questions are answered. So don't feel like you have to stay because I'm staying.
I love that.
But we're not kicking you out either. I unmuted you, Corinne.
Okay. No, I was just wondering, like, for the screenshot that you guys were just showing us of like the plan, like morning, noon, and night, is that something that they're doing or we have to go through you? Because like I am obviously a doTERRA customer.
Yeah.
Or is that something you guys decided? I'm just still unclear on how to,
No, it's well, actually, no, it's something that doTERRA is doing.
Yeah, so you can get that kit. I can pop like the daily habits. It's called the Daily Habits Kit.
Okay.
And you can get that, through doTERRA. And we're here to support you in that Facebook group to educate and empower you. That's the item number I just popped in there. And then Erica, there's 2 choices for you there. There's a 60-minute session or a 20-minute session for us to have a one-on-one. And you can get my calendar from those links. And what was the other question? Oh yeah, so that just the Facebook group is support to, encourage and share what we're experiencing in our daily habits.
Am I already, I presume I can find it through you, Kim, if I'm not already in the group, right? I don't see a link.
We haven't started it yet.
Oh.
In process. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, sorry, I just can't believe I'm still so red. I was in the sauna. I was like, wow, these people so.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It's,
Are you local?
No, I live in Los Angeles, but I met Kim when she lived in New York. I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, you're in California too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know where anyone else is. I just know where Kim is.
I think everybody else here is in California except for my mom in Vermont and me in Providence.
Erica, can you, I don't know if she can unmute herself. Maybe you can chat.
Hold on, who?
Erica.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi. Oh, you can unmute yourself. Yay. Are you in Marin?
I am in East Bay area.
Okay, so we could always meet in person too. I could always come to the East Bay and meet you there. We could do like coffee, and that's always fun because then you have the oils in front of you and you can like smell and play and experience too.
Okay.
Why don't
Do I just email you for availability or email of the day?
I'll pop my phone number in here too. That way you have it, and you could just text me since we're like here right now and we both know we're available to text back and forth.
Oh, I just realized I'm still recording, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop recording, but we can all keep chatting.